What if the oldest member of BTS, Jin, quietly held onto a secret letter from Jungkook's mother and never spoke of it? Why did he choose silence over speaking out? Today, June 11th, 2025, when Jungkook officially completed his 18-month military service, the rumor mill ignited with whispers of Jin's hidden knowledge. Could this be the genuine surprise army never saw coming, affectionately known as the Golden Magne? Ended his training at the 5th Infantry Division's new recruit training center, alongside Jimin, following their December 12, 2023 enlistment. Their return marked one of BTS's final group members stepping out of military service, bringing the full reunion closer than ever. Fans had followed Jungkook's journey, from heartfelt Weverse messages expressing longing and promise in February 2025 to surprising reports of him cooking meals alongside battalion buddies. Revealing yet another side of the devoted idol, this moment reveals that their legacy isn't only world records and sold-out arenas, it's silent sacrifices, spoken in shared glances, held in folded ink, entrusted without spotlight. The morning air in Seoul holds a quiet tension as Jungkook steps onto civilian soil for the first time in 18 months. Hundreds of cameras flash, but what echoes more profoundly is the unspoken story swirling beneath the surface: Jin's silence. Movement ripples among ARMY, fans leaning in, eyes wide, hearts racing, because each knows this unspoken secret is heavier than any statement, more precious than any interview. Why did Jin choose restraint when a world awaited explanations? How did one letter become the silent bridge between brotherhood and respect? Jungkook's journey through military service has been one of introspection and transformation. He enlisted alongside Jimin on December 12, 2023, a decision that resonated beyond headlines. It was a promise to their service, both to country and fans. Reports of Jungkook cooking for fellow soldiers during breaks painted an image of humility and devotion, but the letter, that patriarchal element of family love, stayed hidden from public eye. Families send letters. That's nothing new. But this was different. This was Jungkook's mother reaching out in her most intimate voice, her hopes, her encouragement, perhaps even her fears, all laid bare in ink. That letter was meant for Jungkook alone. Yet someone else carried its weight. Jin, often referred to as the eldest brother, caretaker, voice of reason, found himself holding not only his own emotions, but Jungkook's mother's. Every time a question about personal moments slipped into press events, every glimmer of opportunity to clarify or explain, Jin hesitated. He let the silence grow heavy, and the rumors stormed in. Watchful ARMY have pieced together fleeting expressions at fan meet greetings and mid-sermon interviews. When asked about support during military days, Jin's gaze drifted, the faintest flare of something like guilt or sorrow in his eyes, only for him to shift tone, praise Jungkook's discipline, and reinforce the band's unity. The subtext was palpable. He was hiding something, yet not for scandal or headline, but for honor. This restraint takes an emotional toll, not just on the hearers, but on the holder. Imagine holding someone else's heartfelt words and choosing not to speak them aloud. Every news channel, every fan forum, every trending hashtag became another temptation, another test of loyalty. Would revealing the letter during Jungkook's discharge press conference bring tears of joy, or would it feel like an invasion of intimacy? Jin decided this family moment wasn't just their own. It transcends conventional celebrity gestures. The truth is a fragile thing. Publicly unveiling it risks breaking its essence. But here's the twist that tightens the heart even further. Insiders now whisper that the moment finally came, away from cameras, inside the vehicle that would take Jungkook home. Jin placed the letter in Jungkook's lap. No speeches, no fanfare. The cameras caught only a flicker, Jungkook opening the letter, eyes glistening. That silent exchange spoke volumes. In an instant, Jungkook's shoulders relaxed. The tension of 18 months seemed to melt, and as if buoyed by the weight lifting off both brothers, Jungkook hugged Jin. It wasn't just a hug for duty completed. It was a hug for love remembered and sacrifices unspoken. Fans watched breathless as that single moment, shared on unofficial back-channel video, went viral. Thousands commented, "That's emotion nobody asked to see, but everyone needed." It isn't just BTS's story now. It's family, and the world felt invited into a sacred pause. And now the questions fuel curiosity anew. Will Jungkook share excerpts of the letter, or protect his mother's words behind closed doors? Could Jin's silence now transform into an anthem of respect, one he elaborates on in forthcoming interviews? Could this trigger a shift among idols toward more private, unfiltered moments? Will fans learn to revere silence the way they idolize confession? Whatever unfolds next, one truth remains. Jin's silence wasn't absence, it was presence in its purest form. In a world where fame often demands revelation, he chose reverence instead. Now that Jungkook has his letter, the story resumes, but differently, together, under a hush that speaks louder than any headline. And ARMY? They listen, anticipate, and brace for their next breath. Because some revelations are meant for hearts, not headlines. This quiet chapter may now be closing, but the impact lingers. Fans will keep watching Jungkook find his voice, and Jin, in his silent strength, reminds the world that sometimes love speaks softest when no words are uttered. ChatGPT belong. As evening falls over Seoul, the chatter has not ceased. Social media pulses with theories, fan edits, and emotional breakdowns. The video, just a few seconds long, of Jungkook unfolding the letter with trembling hands has already amassed millions of views. Armies across the globe sit with their phones clutched tightly, eyes glossy, scrolling through translations of what could have been said in that folded paper. But no one knows for sure, and perhaps that's the point. Jin gave Jungkook not just a letter, but a decision to keep, to share, or to bury the contents in the sanctity of his soul. The moment is intimate, yet seismic. It draws attention not for the glitz, but for its rawness. In an industry that thrives on access, on delivering every backstage whisper and private side to the public, Jin's restraint is revolutionary. There is power in what he didn't say, in what he carried alone. Fans and analysts alike have begun re-examining old footage with fresh eyes. That one moment from BTS's 2024 Festa video, where Jin looked off-camera with a faint smile as Jungkook read a card. Did he already know then? Was the letter already in his possession, tucked into a folder, waiting for the right time? Journalists now scramble for confirmation. The major Korean outlets are running headlines speculating on the timeline. Did Jin receive the letter before Jungkook's deployment? Was this a coordinated family gesture or a private act of trust? Yet none of the BTS members have issued statements. Not Big Hit, not Jin, not even Jungkook. And still, the silence is louder than any press release. Emotions are running high not just among fans, but in media circles. One well-known Korean entertainment columnist tweeted, "We always ask for transparency." But Jin reminded us that some moments deserve dignity. And that is what makes BTS more than just stars, they are family. What makes this story even more powerful is the backdrop against which it unfolds. June 11th wasn't just Jungkook's military discharge date. It was also the first day in over a year that fans saw all the pieces of BTS slowly coming back together. Jin had already completed his service. J-Hope too. Now Jungkook and Jimin followed. Only RM, V, and Suga remain. There's a slow, collective inhale throughout the fandom. BTS, fragmented by national duty, is piecing itself back together. One embrace, one smile, one silent letter at a time. And this letter, this quiet, fragile slip of paper, may very well become a symbol, not of drama or secrets, but of the deep, respectful love that binds BTS not just as artists, but as brothers. Fans have started drawing comparisons between this incident and older BTS moments. That 2016 Bon Voyage episode where Jin cooked Jungkook's favorite meal. That time Jungkook broke down on stage and Jin stood behind him like a pillar, silent, strong. Every moment now holds deeper meaning. Every scene reinterpreted under this new lens. Jin has always known more than he lets on. The question now becomes, what else has Jin quietly carried? Has he been the custodian of more stories, more unseen sacrifices, more choices made not for cameras but for hearts? It's a staggering thought. And it changes how we see him, not just as worldwide handsome, the jokester, the eldest, but as the quiet heartbeat behind BTS's louder rhythms. ARMY has begun creating digital art, fan fiction, and video montages titled The Letter. Posts flood X, formerly Twitter, with messages like, "Jin didn't just protect Jungkook. He protected the bond between a mother and her son. He didn't give us fan service. He gave us humanity." YouTube creators are rushing to assemble timelines, psychological breakdowns of Jin's emotional expressions during the past year, and theories about the content of the letter. Some believe it may have included a wish from Jungkook's mother, perhaps that he not burden himself with leadership, or a plea for self-care, or even a poetic message about his childhood. The guesses are endless, but they all revolve around one central truth. This was love. passed hand to hand in absolute silence.